This was me a few years ago, and now I'm doing a little bit better. If you have less than $5,000 in your savings account right now, then you need to watch this video more than anyone because, let's be honest, you need it the most. This is the 4 things that I wish I knew about money 10 years ago. I'm 27 now. If I would have known these at 17, I guarantee I would have way more money, probably at least another $500,000 to $1 million than I do have now. And I'm not even kidding. Honestly, no joke. This is some no bullshit things that will make you way richer. So let's kick it off with number 1. Everything that you do in this life gives you a little bit of feedback. You eat some food, you get some feedback on the taste, the texture, the feeling that you get from it, the energy. You go to the gym, you get a little bit of feedback, how it feels on your joints, your muscles, your blood circulation. Everything gives you a little feedback. All of this feedback combines to form an identity. This comes from everything. Conversations. This comes from every single element of life. And let me guess, when you were younger, your parents probably told you about the importance of money, how important it is to save money, how difficult it is to get money. So you kind of just probably said, you know what? I need to be safe. I need to play it safe. I'm going to be like my parents. I'm going to get a normal job. Just be happy, living a nice, moderate lifestyle. So number 1, you have the wrong identity. You built this, you created this subconscious belief that money is incredibly hard to get. And to be honest, it's not. It's not at all. The Federal Reserve prints it like hotcakes. It's very easy to get. You can get as much as you want. And the sooner you realize that you are conformed, you have the subconscious conformity to not getting money. How many of you guys have tried to run a mile? It's pretty tough, right? Why is it tough? Well, let me tell you a story. Back in, I believe it was the 70s, nobody had beaten the 4-minute mile. Everybody thought it was impossible. No one could do it. Until one day, a man by the name of Roger Bannister beat the 4-minute mile. Obviously, it was a new world record. It made the news, but guess what? Weeks later, another person beat it. A few weeks after that, a high schooler broke the 4-minute mile. So there was this collective limiter on what was possible. And my prediction is that you probably have that limiter on yourself as well. I know I did. I have this theory. That if we were to go into a gym and paint over all of the numerical numbers on the weight. There's no numbers, you scratched it off, right? And then you bring people in there to work out. People would lift 10 to 15% more weight than the numbers were actually on there. Because that limiter, the governor, would be gone. You limit yourself all the time because of this subconscious identity that you create based off of your parents, all this feedback. First step, you need to get rid of that. It's called sum capacity. Imagine what would be possible with no sum capacity. Number 2 might sound a little counterintuitive, but I promise you it's not at all. And it's, you're not spending enough money. Gotta get those numbers up, baby. Let's go. What are we doing here? So I'm gonna tell you a quick story. When I got my first job, I was working at Raising Cane's. You know that chicken place? It's delicious. I finally got my first paycheck after a couple weeks of working. It's like $150. So I really wanted this leather jacket at the mall. So I went there, I bought this leather jacket. It was like $120. I spent most of my paycheck on it. And I brought it home. My parents were pissed. They said, why did you spend all your money on that? It's not useful. You should have put that money into your savings. Okay, maybe I should have. But little did they know, that was a very wise investment. I wore that jacket at least twice a month for the next 4 years. I got 4 years of protection from the elements. I got to look cool. I was stylish and I was happy. All for $120. Very wise investment if you ask me. I'm so glad I didn't spend that money on fast food or going out and getting drinks, which only lasts, 20 minutes? 20 minutes of satisfaction? What is that? It's nothing. For the longest time, I thought I could do this whole YouTube thing all by myself. I didn't want to pay an editor. I didn't want to pay somebody to make a thumbnail. I was like, that is a waste of money. I can do it myself. Until I realized, probably just a couple years ago, I wish I would have realized it at the very beginning, there's a natural flow of money. When you spend more money, you end up subconsciously knowing that you need to make more money. And if you're spending it on the right things, the money will return in large quantities. So it's learning to spend your money on the right things. Don't spend your money recklessly and protect your money. I'll tell you something. So just 3 months ago, I got this hair transplant, and maybe some of you guys saw the video. I flew all the way to Turkey for it. So as I get off the plane, I go to buy a SIM card with my credit card, so I can use my phone and stuff. It's denied. I'm panicking. I'm in a foreign country. Half the people don't even speak English. I'm like, what the hell do I do? And I do all that. I'm gonna finally get internet. I'm like looking over everything, all my accounts and stuff. Somebody had stole my identity as I was getting on the plane to fly to Turkey. And I had no idea. Nothing informed me when I got there. And I was in a panic. I was fucked. I wish I would have had something like Aura, which is the sponsor of today's video. So shout out to them. Aura is an app that serves as identity theft protection, fraud monitoring, a VPN, password management, and an antivirus software all wrapped into one easy to use app. You might have one of these services already, but if you don't have all the tools to use it, then it's like locking the front door, but leaving the back door wide open to thieves and criminals and anything else that could go wrong with your money. If you or anybody you know has had their identity stolen, then it's shocking and it's a horrible, horrible experience. So I don't want that to happen to you. Imagine trying to log into your email one day and it's not logging in. Then you start getting notifications from your bank, your Instagram, your Uber, that people are using all of this with your money and you have no idea and you can do nothing about it. It's truly terrible. It's truly terrible. But thankfully, Aura monitors the dark web for your emails, passwords, and social security numbers and sends alerts fast right to your phone and email. Just look at how many times Aura found my email being used on the dark web. But Aura's VPN also allows you to stay anonymous online by keeping your browser history and personal info safe and encrypted. Protect your friends and family from identity theft by going to aura.com/BrettMaverick, and you can actually get a 2-week free trial just by clicking the link below. And if you sign up, let me know down below in the comments if your personal info has been compromised, because I'm betting a lot of yours has. The next thing that I wish I knew was that there's 2 types of people in this world: consumers and creators. Most people are consumers. You consume products, digital products, media, content, clothing, anything, food, whatever. Most people do not create, but it's the people who create and devote their business to creating that reap the rewards at the highest level. I always knew this intellectually, but I never really understood it until I read the book, The Fast Lane Short Track by MJ DeMarco. And he really just highlights the points and actualizes how important it is to give real value. I want to read one quote by him in this book, and I think it's very impactful. Stop thinking about business in terms of your selfish desires, whether it's money, dreams, or do what you love. Instead, chase needs, problems, pain points, service deficiencies, and emotions. For the longest time on YouTube, I was just trying to chase views, trying to do what the next person was doing. But I've come to realize that offering real value that people need in their life to fix a certain problem will always be the cash cow, the biggest, most important thing you could possibly do to receive a large return. Sure, you can get into drop shipping and trying to resell other people's shitty product at a 10 times price point, or crypto, or, NFTs and all this bullshit, but that's not real value. With all those things, somebody has to lose. And actually, a lot of people have to lose, especially in the crypto or NFT space. But imagine if Nike or Apple were to shut down and close up shop. That would leave a huge hole in not only the market, but the world. There would be a disastrous effect and need for phones and shoes. So my advice is to have a shift in less consumption and more creation. All right, I'm going to tell you one more story. I know this video is full of stories, but when I first moved to LA, fresh out of college, I was paying just a few $100 back at college for rent. I moved out to LA. I felt like I was balling because of YouTube. So I got an apartment right on Hollywood Boulevard. I was paying $2,400 a month. I was like, the money's coming in. It's fine. I'm going to live while I'm here, have a good time. But then YouTube slowed down. I wasn't making as much money. And I totally misunderstood how much money I was really spending. And I ended up actually losing money out of my savings account for the first 2 years that I lived here. So that's the last point I want to make to you. And that's to be totally honest with yourself about your finances. How much money are you really making versus how much are you really spending? So many people don't think about the little things, but when you add them all up, it's a ton of money being spent, after federal taxes, state taxes, rent, utilities, necessities, toilet paper, food, streaming services, software, all this bullshit. It's a lot of money that you don't account for probably. So if I would have just been smart and realistic with my finances and found a place to live that was half that or $1,000, I could have had an extra $35,000 saved up for, a house deposit or starting another business or brand of some sort. Yeah, I made a huge mistake in that sense. Do not lie to yourself. Be completely transparent and realistic with your lifestyle and your finances and what you can really afford. I'm a firm believer you should delay short-term satisfaction for long-term success. I really wish I would have had that $30,000, $40,000 with me now, and I would have been just fine living in a $1,500 apartment instead. It's all about the end game. So that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't already, subscribe, turn notifications on, and until next time, peace.